NFT NYC community, welcome to Miami. I found a couple legends that I imagine you'd love to hear from. Two co-founders from Upland. You guys have been a huge part of our event, right? You've always come with such an energy. I always make this joke that in 2020, February, our event, Dirk was the only person excited about NFTs because you made the monopoly for the NFT world. You got it on the phone, iOS app. I mean, you crushed your goals. Exactly. But how about today? Here we are. We are about to embark on a series of events, right? We're here in Miami. Of course, New York's coming up. Talk to us about Upland.
Yeah, so we had a great Ian to see you at all these conferences, and Idan and I just said, last time we were actually at the conference, we were actually freezing in Davos, it was snowing, and now exactly the contrary here in Miami where it's really hot. So fast forward, Upland, we launched in 2020, and now we have 300,000 landowners in Upland, right?
Amazing,
and 3 million
guys.
registered users.
Huge accomplishment.
So, which is great, right? And we have a huge activity every day because every day something is happening in Upland. And we started out as you rightfully said, as this monopoly type of game where we were inspired from. But probably trading, and so on. But today you can do so many more things. You can do car racing, you can build a house, you can run and operate a shop in there. Also, we have a big partnership with the NFL Player Association or with FIFA. So if you want to get your goal of Messi, of the final, well, you have to go to Upland to get it.
I love that. I love that. Tell us a bit about. I always get Dirk on the camera. I think this is your first time. I finally found you. I got
First time with you, but yeah, absolutely.
But for me to introduce. So tell us a bit of your backstory and what are you excited about right now?
So my backstory is pretty similar to Dirk's. We met in 2018, started talking about NFTs when nobody kind of knew what it was, and then kind of envisioned and launched Upland. And again, Dirk explained how this Upland is becoming this super app. But one very, very exciting thing that happened over the last year is that we launched our third-party developer tools, which enable any developer of any game experience service. It can be Web 2, it can be Web 3, to basically connect to Upland.
Yes.
And then introduce Web 3 elements from within Upland, tapping into our community, our liquidity, our asset system, and then kind of injecting that to their games and offerings. And we're actually running a very exciting hackathon that is actually running right now.
And it's remote.
Sorry?
It's remote.
It's a remote
so
Upland.
People can they still apply?
Can still apply. It's prolonged, and it has two very exciting tracks. One is in conjunction with the FIFA Women's World Cup that will take place in July in Sydney and New Zealand.
Yes.
And the mission there is to create experience that utilize FIFA Women's World Cup NFTs that are going to be launched in Upland.
Right.
As experiences and games outside of Upland that connect via the developer tools. And then the second track is an innovation track that we're running together with the EOS Network Foundation, which has just recently launched. There's a whole story about how the EOS community took back EOS from its inceptors, but that's probably a subject for another conversation.
Sure.
But
the
that's
power of decentralization.
Exactly, and that's another track where you basically we call developers to inject innovative ways to engage players in Upland on a daily basis using our third-party developer tools.
Got it. And when you look forward, what does it take to get from 300,000 to 3 million or to maybe 300 million? The world is vast. You have FIFA being part of it. Everybody's familiar with you bring something that's very, the market loves what you've created Upland, but the market doesn't necessarily know about it yet, right? So how do you scale this in terms of users and how do you serve them?
Yeah, one thing we're particularly proud of is, we went less about the crypto aficionados. We really went after people, right? Who are, let's say, normal people, than quotation marks, normies, how we call them.
Right.
And we did that because we always said mobile first, right? We have iOS and Android apps to make it easy. Then you can only sign up with an email and password, right? I mean, we don't have access to private keys or so, but still make it super simple for those normies. You can use credit card and PayPal and so on. So that was actually the first requirement, right? Which to go to the devices, which is mobile, where people are. But going forward, we have several ways of growing further, right? One is partnering. I mean, right now, there's the biggest brand in the world is FIFA, right? I mean, the finals watched, I think, 4 billion, 5 billion people, right? Which is great. And NFL is actually quite small against FIFA when you compare it, right? That's a thing. But then you have actually other partnerships we're doing, right? With UNICEF, for instance. We have we are partnered also with with Gala Games, which is another, Web3 or blockchain-based company. So we're doing a lot of those where we actually, we just recently announced Mavian, also, women's focused community, right? So we're really trying to onboard, actually everyone, right? That's our objective. And we do this now with big partnerships, right? Or we do this with, just doing advertisements, social media and so on. Right. So that's a little bit where our growth strategy is coming from these days, right? To acquire more users.
Now, when NFT NYC happens, April 12th to the 14th, is there anything that people should know about that's happening? I know you have the association that you helped co-found.
Yeah, two things. First of all, come and see my keynote at 12:50 on the main stage on Wednesday. Talking about the super app, what a super app is. And the other thing, you mentioned it, I last year actually at NFT NYC, I got all the the founders and so on of the other metaverse platforms together.
Yes.
Decentraland, Sandbox, Animoca brands said, hey, we all have to work together. That's where we kicked off the OMA 3, which stands for Open Metaverse Alliance for Web 3.
Right.
We now have 1,000 companies who signed up for it, right? Amazing. I'm sharing it right now, and the idea is to really empower the user controlled, and bring decentralization forward.
I love that. What's the importance for you to have an association like this where you get to rub shoulders with all of the other founders and teams that are running these other metaverses?
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And part of that thinking, again, at the end of the day, the whole open metaverse thinking came kind of like grassroots, bottom up, right? It came from actual needs. And one demonstration of that is something I'll be talking about in NFT NYC, which is the newly launched Species Foundation. You can find out about it in species.io. So it's basically a decentralized effort to map all species of life into digital form, so it can serve as a unified repository to be adopted by any virtual world, any game, any metaverse. So I'll be speaking about that, but again, this is some of the futuristic, open, interoperable metaverse thinking that causes us to now plant the seeds that would over the years go and kind of like realize that that future that we're all working towards.
I love it. Any final words for everybody before we wrap it up?
So I speak at Wednesday, April 12th at 11:25 a.m. on the main stage. Come check it out. It's super exciting.
He speaks before me.
Yeah. Good.
Super exciting subject, and this is going to be actually one of the first time we're going to actually speak about it in public.
And is this separate? Two separate talks, right?
2 separate talks.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you, as always. Okay. Thank you, guys, and congrats on all 300,000 people is no joke. It's amazing what you've accomplished. Till next time, have a happy day.